Right in the center of attention, standing out, commanding attention is really what it's all about when the midheaven is in Leo in your career life. You can also pursue creative pursuits and really be good at those type of ventures, but it really depends upon the aspects going on in your natal chart to further paint the picture of what you're like if your midheaven is in Leo. Lana Del Rey and Vladimir Putin are two examples of people with midheaven in Leo. Lana Del Rey uses more of the positive expressions of midheaven in Leo. And as we know, Vladimir Putin is more on the shadow side of that midheaven. But getting into what it is all about when the midheaven is in Leo in the birth chart. So if you have this placement and you need to know your time of birth to determine the sign of your midheaven. So Leo is in your 10th house. This could be very popular among Scorpio risings and Libra risings if you have this placement. And if you want to know about Libra and Scorpio ascendant sign, depending upon what rising sign you have if you have this placement, I have videos on my YouTube channel talking about the ascendant in Libra and the ascendant in Scorpio. So now let's dive into what it means if your midheaven is in Leo. Before I do, I want to introduce myself. I'm Ever Cardi. I do videos every 2 to 3 days on various planets and signs and very general astrology. And I also do a weekly astrology forecast where I get into the astrology of every single week. So if you're interested in this type of content, please subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you do not miss a video. So delving into what it's all about, a very huge value with Leo Midheaven is creativity. They can excel at anything creative, anything artistic. So they can excel at music, art, being an entertainer, painting, singing, being a musician, maybe even being a social media marketer. These are possible careers for the Midheaven Leo, but they can really exude a very strong creative side to them. Um, Creativity brings them both satisfaction and pleasure, both on an emotional and physical level. Now, they're very confident people. They know what they're all about. They know their stuff. They have all the math down. They have all the zebras and the Zeus for to put in their pages. And they really have their ducks in a row when it comes to being very confident with their endeavors, of which they exude that quality very strongly. They can also excel at any positions involving leadership. They can excel at being leaders because they can make leaders. Leo is a sign which represents leadership and is one of the leadership signs. Aries and Capricorn are two signs that can make also wonderful leaders. And so they really go together, even though Aries and Capricorn squares, because Aries is the earth fire sign and Capricorn is the fire earth sign. So that is very important to note. So um, they don't want, it's very important if you have this placement not to be arrogant and righteous and self-centered, but to really be lead with empathy, lead with understanding, lead with compassion of other people. This is very important for them to, um, develop this and to lead with all positive intentions and lead for their own highest good. Really tapping into their higher self when it comes to their leadership. Now, their creativity, as I was talking about before, can really help them overcome obstacles. They view challenges as just mere, um, hoops to sort of jump over. And so they can really use their creativity, um, to really overcome any challenges that face them that are, um, that do exist in their life so they can really, really excel at overcoming challenges. They can easily be the center of attention. They can they want to be center stage. They want to be the center of attention, and they naturally are, even if they make their life private, even if they want to keep things you know, in bars, let's just say, in the jail cells, then they really want to keep those things private, but nevertheless, they just seem to get the center of attention. They just seem to be the center of attention. They're very charming people as well. Um, and so if they're not passionate about their career, if they're not passionate at a heart level about their work, they need to find a career where they're passionate about it, where they feel like their heart is fully in what their career is. This is very, very important for Midheaven and Leo people. They have a very, very strong drive to succeed. They can be very famous in their career. They can also be very hopeful people. They have a lot of hope. They see the light at the end of the tunnel. They see the glass half full. They see all the sort of shapes and figures in the zeitgeist of humanity. And they can really, really understand that at the deep level that when it comes to their optimism, when it comes to their sense of hope, it's very, very strong and up in the charts for them. So they really want to put themselves in a position where they can see the optimism very, very clearly, and where they can see the potentials and positive sides of situations. They're very confident people. They're very driven and they want others' appreciation. They need others' validation. They need to feel appreciated. They need to feel loved. They need to feel recognized. They need to feel cared for by other people when it comes to their work, what they do in their career life. They need that acknowledgement and that recognition. So, they can also make great teachers, not only artists and entertainers, but teachers as well. They can be, they can really thrive at being resilient and determined. This is really, their strong suit, is being very, very, just very able to handle challenges, and they're very determined. They have very, very thick skin, and they're very, very determined to see their goal through to completion. They're able to reach the grand visions that they set for themselves. Um, so they are committed, they are driven to reach their goals. That's the kind of thing, very persistent people. They view challenges as opportunities for them to grow. So they really don't want to become arrogant. It's very, very important if you have this placement not to become arrogant with your self-confidence. Know that you're interconnected with all that is. You are connected with everyone, and we are all one. There is no other. Leo is very egoic, which separates themselves and the other. Having soul connections with other people could be a very important thing for them. And so the support they receive from others plays a huge role in their accomplishments. This is very, very strong. Um, is that that help that they get, that attention that they get from others, plays a very, very strong role in their achievements in their life. It may also be good for them to be of service to others in some way, being of humble service, supporting them along their journey. So they need to balance their need for personal recognition with the needs and contributions of their community. So, putting themselves out there, being center stage, having their them busting out of the sort of limitations they place on themselves, and also, you know, really contributing to their tribe in some way, really contributing to the community in some very helpful way. They crave recognition and respect at the same time. And they want to express themselves to the public. This is very, very huge. They want to take the lead. It's very important to lead with empathy, as I was talking about before. They can really use their leadership to uplift and empower those around them. And that is recommended for the Midheaven and Leo to empower those around them. Now, it's very important because Leo's ruling planet is the sun, or luminary is the sun. So it's very important to look at the sign and house placement of the sun to further understand how you express your Leo midheaven. They shine in their career, they stand out in their career as center stage. They have very, um, very strong leadership abilities. This is very, very huge for them. They want to be recognized and appreciated for their talents. They are also great innovators. Surprisingly enough, they can make great innovators. They want to make bold decisions on something that excites them, on something that they're passionate about. That's really where they can thrive. And so people are drawn to their confidence and excitement about life. Um, they have a very, very strong enthusiasm that people are very attracted to. They are seen as being larger than life. They're seen as being above the hills and above the valleys and above the molehills, that they take themselves to be that tea in the garden, of where they could really, really be very, very, you know, they could really be very self-confident in their abilities. They can be seen as being larger than life. They need to balance the need for recognition with humility. So that's very, very important for them to be humble and also proud at the same time. Use the health expression of pride, not the low expression. And so they show integrity and passion to whatever they set out to do as a goal to achieve. So they have these qualities very strongly in their life and in their chart. They want to stand out and take risks. That's very, very important for them to take risks and break the mold. And so they're not afraid to break the traditions of how things are to create something better for humanity as a whole. Interestingly enough, that's more in the Aquarius midheaven. We'll get to that later down the road. They set high standards for themselves and pursue their goals with passion in this lifetime. They want to leave a successful legacy behind them. They want to express their individuality and invite others to do the same, encourage others to do the same when it comes to expressing their unique selves. They have a blend of strength and creativity. They're energetic and unapologetically themselves. Very, very strong for them, where they can be very strong into themselves about those qualities. There's a desire here to shine and express their creativity. They treat their career as a space to express themselves. Their talents are naturally seen and recognized by others. And if they feel like they can't express themselves in their career, they need to find a career where they can do that. They're very charismatic and ambitious. Um, so they have a lot of creativity and bravery when it comes to their career. They can be generous and inspiring people. Now at the low level, they can be controlling, overly controlling, and vain and self-righteous. They may have big dreams. They're very motivated to succeed in life. They want to make their visions a reality. That's what they're all about, is taking, their ideas, their grand dreams, and making them real, making them tangible. When they set their sights on something, they are determined to get it. They want to be the best at whatever they do. Um, and so if you're not known for your career, you might be known for your hobbies, what you do as for fun, as a hobby, maybe something very artistic with that. There's a need to put themselves out there with displacement. Any career that allows them to make decisions and be in charge is very good for them. They're they want to try something new. They want to try different things. They want to spice it up in their life. They're not afraid to take risks. And they hold a lot of power. They're a very powerful sign, and they want to be in positions of power and leadership. So that is all I have for you on the Midheaven and Leo placement in the birth chart. I hope that you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please share it to somebody who would also like this video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, everybody.